And welcome back to another episode of PubTalk. I'm your host here, Chase Wilson, and I have two amazing guests here tonight that super excited about. Been waiting all day for this. Ever since I found out about it, I've been super excited.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let these guys introduce themselves, and then we're gonna get into something really cool. So
I am the gas tank.
Scipio Savage.
Scipio side.
I'm just AJ Stainbrook.
This is my teammate.
Just my name.
My teammate, my corner man. This guy put in all the work with me.
So Jordan, tell us a little bit about your MMA debut here. It was real big. Tell us a little bit about it.
It was exciting, man. Like I said, and some of you guys have seen, I've had a little experience with the street beefs. You know, I got to give them some props. But this was just way more organized, way more put together. I really enjoyed this B2 promotion, man. They had their shit together. Made me feel a lot more popular than what I could have on street beefs, man. It was awesome.
That's so cool, man.
Biggest day of my life, man.
AJ, corner guy?
Yeah, I mean, that was my first time even going to a live MMA event. So just being there and seeing it in person was awesome. Seeing people get dropped in person, it was sweet. It's different.
Oh yeah, that was a great fight card, really.
Yeah,
I didn't see the UFC fights. Someone told me they were kind of boring and said that our fight card was way more impressive.
Really?
Man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but no, just seeing him being able to do it and knowing where he's came from and how hard he's worked for it and getting to actually fight at a nice promotion that took care of the fighters and made sure they had a room to stay in. Took care of them, gave them food after weigh-ins and stuff. Like they wanted good fighters to come fight and put on a good show for them, and so they took care of them. It showed.
And this dude was up there sizing people up, dude. He was back there.
How much you weigh?
Yeah, he was about it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Sick. It gets you into it when you see it live, right? Man, I want to fight everybody. Right? I'm joking.
Yeah, I've never been to like a live event, so I was really gonna try to go to that, and then I had to work at 4 a.m. So
it was short notice, man. It really was. I took that on 10-day notice, and I guess that guy took it on 10-day notice as well. So next time we'll have more notice. Get it out there and people can come. I'm trying to get it close to home. They travel everywhere. So I see some in Louisville. So I think maybe get one down there. Real close to home. Get a big old home crowd there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Be nice.
Yeah. Blowing up.
Oh, yeah. We had a big group go there this time, and, man, it was awesome. I can't thank those guys enough for coming, dude. I had big support there. And it got loud, I could hear it when I was in my fight, and after I won, man, I just heard the crowd there. I heard the Scipio Savages there just going crazy. As I walked out of the cage, man, it was a dream come true. I was giving high fives out, and the B2 guys were walking me out, kept pushing me, telling me I got to go to the doctor, and I was like stopping and seeing everybody. What's up?
Doctor. There's random people walking up to him too, just like, man, your wrestling's really good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Bunch of random people.
Really?
Thank you. That's all.
Bunch of random people.
So I gotta ask, man, like, because a lot of people don't, like, for the people that don't know about this sport, the mentality of it. So, like, the whole fight build-up. And that was your first time being in the cage, right? So, kind of tell people what the thought process is of, I'm going in here and I'm gonna hurt this dude. Or, like, one of you two, like, you're going in there to put it out, Somebody's either not walking out or going to be helped getting out, or walk away with the win. But
I was ready for war this one.
Dude.
I knew this was going to be a big step up from street beefs, and I was just ready for war for this one, man. I was going in there just knowing that I've put way too much work in for this, and I've got the skill set. I've been drilling. I've been training, doing the cardio. So just working the mentality up, man, was just that he has not put as much time and effort in as I have, and that it was a killer be killed moment, and I knew I had a big crowd and eyes on there like I didn't have at street beefs. I didn't have anybody watching me live. I didn't have my home crowd there. This time I did, so I just knew I had to put on a show, man, and I wanted to do a little more striking. I had the mentality of I wanted to go out there and make this guy bleed, but I wanted to go out there and showcase what we do at Brown's BJJ, man. I wanted to showcase that the basic things that we teach there work, man. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't do no flying armbar. I didn't do no crazy triangle attempts or nothing like that. I went out there, got controlled, kept pressure, and just worked my guard passes, got to good position, and finished it when I could, man. So I didn't want to go out there and just be overexcited too. Like I thought I was building myself up to be, because I wanted to go out there and see blood and see this and that and impress you guys so much, and I had to keep it keep the mentality, to reality as well. I couldn't go with that there and try to do things that I've never really practiced and stuff like that. So I kept it basic and just kept control.
Well, I would say a finish was an understatement.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't seen the video, you search for it on YouTube. I know I shared it. It's on my Facebook profile. You can look at Jordan's. I'm sure it's on his, and I'm sure it's on AJ's. I think everybody in Jennings County has pretty much shared that by now. But if you haven't seen it and you're not from Jennings County, you're gonna know Jennings County.
Yes, sir. Scipio side.
So get familiar. I'm sure they're gonna have more to come.
Yes, sir.
And the fan base it's just not just here. I'm sure people like seeing, when we see people from Columbus or Seymour do big things, we're still behind them.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
You're still Southern Indiana, man.
Indiana.
Like rep it. You know what I'm saying? But it's even better when it's we very often do we get anybody that does anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it's not here. Right. It's just the opportunities. Like you trained jiu-jitsu and you had to travel. Yes. And to Columbus to do that.
Yes.
Same with you. We're all living here in North Vernon, and there's not a whole lot of opportunity here.
No.
But it's doable, guys. It is doable. Right here it is.
There will be an opportunity.
Exactly. Like all you high schoolers right now that are in wrestling, you'd be surprised at how much you'd like jiu-jitsu.
Stick with it.
And it's just so cool to see. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so cool to see someone local do something. This is off the wall.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like we'll be lucky to get like a basketball player or a football player or a collegiate wrestler. But like, how often have you heard like we got a cage fighter in North Vernon, man? Like and doing big things.
Yes, they're using that Jennings County wrestling too.
Dude, shout them out, Coach Jones.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Coach Jones for sure. It's that Jennings County conditioning is what it is.
Yes,
that ain't no joke.
The cardio that Coach Jones puts through, man, I gotta give props to him for that.
Hated it then, love it now.
Hated it then, yeah.
Appreciate it.
I still even keep with the same routine that Jones has put us through. So I stretch the stretches that he had us do through. When I lift weights, it's exactly how we used to do there in strength and conditioning. Even in the hotel room, like when we're leaving the hotel room, I make the bed. Yeah. Jones always made us clean up, so I make the bed. It's just kind of one of my superstitious
that's cool,
things.
Though, man. Like not only is he making great athletes, man, he's making good men.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's cool. We need more coaches like that.
I gotta give him props for the cardio and the conditioning and this and that.
Stair laps, yeah. Thanks for all the stair laps, coaches.
Strength, man. The accommodators
Take a lap
on V2. Yeah, for real. I thought we was the track team there after a while. But he was great with the cardio and the strength, man. And people talk about my strength, and the accommodators talking about the strength, and that's what Alex Cadell, I think, is who I fought. I think that's what his name was. He came afterwards and told me my strength's crazy, and that's that Coach Jones strength and conditioning, man.
Yeah, not even a joke.
No. Yeah, for somebody to beat somebody, then for them to say, "Man, you're really strong." It's like, yeah.
And I'll say this right now, since we're talking about this, I played basketball at Jennings County, and I can remember vividly every practice. I thought running suicides was bad, and so like 3 feet behind me, I'd see this line of wrestlers with like doing these buddy carries, man, up these stairwells. It's like 4 stairwells at Jennings County.
Yes.
And dude, it was hell, and I was so grateful to be running on the wood court. Like it was unbelievable. Like the conditioning that I even saw you guys do, I was like, that dude.
That was just phase 1.
Yeah,
that's phase
crazy,
one right
man.
there.
It's crazy.
James Calm, if you guys remember James Calm, he was a heavyweight, man. I was doing stair laps with him. I love to do buddy carries with him, man. That's where that strength comes from. Because I love James Calm, man. He was hilarious. I'd like to practice with him. So anytime we got in trouble, we were doing some buddy carries. I had to do him because he was my buddy. Oh, man.
That's funny, man. We can kind of talk about that. How you started. So you were a high school wrestler. And kind of take us on your journey from there.
Well, it really started in elementary. So I was living with my mom down in Kentucky. My dad lived up here in Scipio, and I was coming up here to Scipio every other weekend, and I was seeing Mike Kelly. And Mike Kelly wrestled for Scipio, man. And they talked about it, dude. And I was a little kid then. And I was like thinking like WWE, man. I loved it, dude. I was like, man, I want to live here and I want to start wrestling, dude. And me and my brother would always talk about it, dude. Well, about 2006, when I was going into 6th grade, I finally was moving to my dad's. And I get to Scipio, man. And I was a little skateboarder then, too. So I had all my skating buddies, but they all wrestled. So they were all talking me into the wrestling season, man. And I was pumped, dude. I was like tables, ladders, and chairs, dude. We were going to get it, dude. We jumping high flying. I get there and cut up jeans. Dude, I go to the first practice, cut up jeans. Dude, I had a t-shirt on that was like WWE, man. And they're doing half Nelsons and double legs. And I was like, what is this? What's this stuff? They're pinning each other. They're just putting each other on the...
Where's the choke slams at?
I understood the pins, but I was like, I don't quite get, half Nelson this now. It's like, this ain't like what they do on WWE. So the coach would pretty much, he got me aside, and his name was Kruger, Mr. Coach Kruger. And he got me aside, and he's like, look, man, you put them on their back. That's the objective there. So my very first year, dude, I went undefeated, dude. That was the objective. I didn't know how to score. I didn't know the scoring system, man. He just said, put them on their back, and that's how you win. So I started doing that. I was just pinning everybody real quick. Just go eat some candy afterwards. Right. And then got to middle school, 7th grade year, Coach Mo kind of started like trying to put the sport into me. Because that was just a killer in me that 6th grade year. And then he was trying to, tame that killer and make that killer realize it's a sport and how to manipulate the sport to your advantage. So 7th grade year, I was still kind of just going out there pinning everybody. But then I started realizing, oh, you can get points by doing this, or it looks cooler when you do this, or it's awesome when you pin somebody like this. So by 8th grade year, I wanted to tech everybody. I didn't just want to pin them. I wanted to get 15 points and then try to like get the tech pin.
Right.
So I started working moves, working takedowns, and realizing it's an art. There's an art to this. Yeah. And that's when the MMA started kind of getting big. George St. Pierre was getting loud, Anderson Silva, and my dad would buy some of those cards, and I was like, hearing, their background's wrestling, that George St. Pierre's background's wrestling. I was like, man, I already got that in the books, Right. Like, you just got to stick to the plan, So it became a life plan after that. And 8th grade year and 7th grade year, I went undefeated through middle school as well. It wasn't until high school I found my first loss. And but it was my first love for sure, wrestling. It was great. Coach Mo out there in middle school had a great program going. He's the head coach there now at the high school. Still got the program going. Got a good group of kids coming up. I know we got a good group of elementary kids, the Predators. They're killers, man. They're bringing home gold every weekend. It's awesome.
I love seeing that.
Yeah.
I get the youth involved. So
yeah.
That's where it all begins.
It really does.
Like you said, how you have that one coach that told you to just put them on their back.
Put them on their back, man.
As simple as that. At a young age,
yeah,
you learn.
It wasn't WWE at all.
No, not at all.
Put them on their back, and that's how you win. But it's an art. It turned into an art for me. And
so then you were in middle school and you were progressing. You kind of learned all these things, and then once you got to high school, the intensity, I'm sure.
The intensity changed, yes, for sure, definitely.
Because you had kids that higher than you,
exactly.
Older than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I lucked out and, I was in a good weight class and became varsity freshman year. I was one of the only varsity freshmen the whole year. My boy Brock wound up getting in on varsity that year. And we were under Ty Olds, and that's where my game changed too, because I was just a brute wrestler at first in middle school. I wanted to throw everybody, side headlock everybody, the James County side headlock. Everybody knows about that.
Uh-huh.
Ty took that out of me. Ty took me and told me about distance. He said, you don't have to tie up, you can be out far away. You're quick. He said, you can shoot from far away. He's like, he taught me single leg to the double, which I used in my fight. He taught me the outside fireman's. If you watch any of my jiu-jitsu matches or my first 3 fights in street beefs, I used the outside fireman's. Yeah. He taught me that. I hit that from distance. He taught me that you could shoot, and there's different ways to shoot and come in for the tie-ups. And so he was teaching us a lot that year. And we went to a camp. He actually had it called SIEW, Southern Indiana Elite Wrestling. Mm-hmm. And he was bringing Southern Indiana boys from all around, that were real good. We were doing camps out here, man, and he's putting us through cardio. Out here at the Vernon Gym, mm-hmm. He had some mats out there, man, and it had no AC in there, dude.
Oh, great,
out there
dude.
grappling, sweating, dude. And he put us through scramble drills. So if you watch any of my fights, I always win the scrambles, and that's just of his drills, man. He always would have these weird scramble drills we would do, and hips high is what he's always explaining. You get your hips higher than your opponent, you're most likely going to end up on top. And we just would drill those, and it finally got in my brain, man. So I always win scrambles, man. That's my biggest thing. If there's a scramble, I'm winning it. That's my mentality with that. Dude. I love the scramble. I try not to scramble so much no more. That's white belt stuff, you know. I try to be more controlled now and use my jiu-jitsu, but if there is to come about of a scramble, I'm with it. But Mills, freshman year was a tough year for me with wrestling. I learned a lot that year. That's when I started catching some of my first losses. Like you said, I was catching those older guys, man, and they were tough. But some matches, man, I would fight, and I knew that I was ready for war then, dude, because I would never back down, dude. There's some in there, the kids were telling me I was going to get pinned, and I'd go out there and just go take it to overtime, dude, and wind up losing that way, man. Those matches really meant a lot to me. Those stick with me. And the mentality that year really... And I was learning Coach Jones that year, too, man. You got to have a mental brain for that, man.
Because you lose it.
Yeah, man, it was rough, dude. He put it through me, and I'm glad he did, man. He was putting it on us that year. I remember that year, dude. It was Michael Biggs and Corey Kapitsky, man, and right before practice, dude, they were lining up. Big guys, you know.
I remember this.
They were lining up next to each other, dude, and they were just blindside people and just knock them on their ass, dude. I don't know where I was up on my back, you know, against the wall, dude, because I didn't want to get blindsided. I don't know who told on us, man, but someone went and told on us, dude. We ran stair laps for 2.5 hours, man, dude. People were puking, people were quitting.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure I quit and played soccer, so I wouldn't have to run as much. I was like, I'll just have soccer, I guess, because those guys.
Jones didn't put up with it, man. Jones didn't put up with it. Yeah, I used to fool around a lot, man, and so I had to be tough mentally, too, because he was always on me, man.
I remember one time, man, he was, we was coming out to practice for basketball, and it was like literally right after school, like right after the bell, and I went up and I dunked one, and I just heard Jones across the gym, and he's like, Wilson, harder push-up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, for what? I'm practicing, dude. Like,
one time.
I did it, man. I straight up did him.
Oh, yeah.
My coach walked out, I was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm getting them done. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I remember, you get caught kissing or hugging a girl between rounds. He'd give you and the girl 50 push-ups, but you know that
they do them all.
You know that you wouldn't. He know that you wouldn't let her do them, so he'd be like, all right, then you do all 100 of them. So you have to crank out all 100 right there. Those girls weren't worth it now. Looking back.
Ouch.
I guess I got strong from it though.
So tell us a little bit about your senior year. Yeah, it's always a big year.
Senior year, I cranked it up. Junior and senior year, I really cranked it up. Those were my... I got injured junior year, but the mentality was there, man. I was hungry. I only lost 3 matches both years. And, man, senior year is where it was at, man. I was always ready for a war, dude. I was either teching you or we were going into overtime, dude. You just weren't rolling over me. And made it pretty far that year. My junior year, I broke the high school record for most near fall points. That's from like teching people. Everybody goes out there and wants to pin everybody real quick. I always thought, I'd go out there and tech them, work my moves, use it as a practice. So I broke the record by like 20 some points, man, junior year. And then the senior year, I re-broke that record by 50 points, dude. So
nice.
Senior year, I was just really with it, man. I was wanting to beat everybody bad. I was healthy that year. I was eating healthy that year, dieting well.
You got your name on the wall, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, my name's up there.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's getting big, man, that wall is.
A lot of good wrestlers, man. Our wrestling, like I said, until we got that new wrestling gym, which is a phenomenal.
Oh,
if you haven't seen it, if anybody hasn't went to a wrestling match, I think like that's an extremely underrated sport for Jennings County because that's one of the best and most solid programs that Jennings County actually has.
Yes.
And I think that just doesn't get talked about enough. I know I've talked about Coach Jones a lot in my previous some of my previous podcasts, and then a lot to my buddies when we're just talking. But a phenomenal guy, phenomenal coach. Yes. Been there for years. Built a super solid foundation. And then right as he retires, they decide to finally build on the stadium.
Yeah.
I just
And like
the
you said,
wrestling
he's
program.
not just making better wrestlers; he's making better men. You know.
Yeah, because he teaches. He teaches there. He's strength and conditioning.
His life stories he talks about. He's always got a life story of over every lesson. You think it's silly and funny at the time, man, but they carry with you, man.
Right.
I remember a lot of the stories thinking they were goofy then, but they stick with you, dude. I drill and train and live life the same way I did back then because of that guy.
That's what I'm saying. That's like the biggest thing that I know. Not only did he teach his wrestlers, but all his students, discipline.
Yes.
At a very young age, that's few and far between. A lot of people just don't have discipline. And if you knew Coach Jones, you had it. Or at least you could put on a good persona.
I think my discipline is really what helps me win my fights and my jiu-jitsu matches as well, man, because I just got that mentality.
If you only went and rolled whenever you really felt like it.
That's not enough. It's not enough.
Exactly.
You got to go the days you don't want to go, man.
And that's discipline.
Yes.
And, that's just really good to be taught at a young age like that. So.
Got to eat the meals that you don't want to eat, man. It's not about how it tastes sometimes, about how nutritious it is.
What it can do for your body.
It's macros, man. The calorie count. Know all about that.
Yeah, I'm actually on my junk week right now since I'm taking a week off after this fight, man. I'm not working out.
Little Caesar's Pizza at his party was fire. If you don't know, that means you weren't there.
Yeah, he was cutting all weekend, and I was getting Burger King and stuff. So, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I was wearing a trash bag all last week during practice.
My gosh.
On my way up, I was cutting weight, and these guys are eating burgers and stuff.
It feels like you're suffocating all the time, dude. I couldn't imagine rolling around on one.
Yeah, it sucks.
You sweat so bad, dude, without one. Imagine, you just wring it out after.
My shirt was soaked, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like
It probably feels like equivalent to dying because you're losing weight so fast. I've never had to weight cut, and I know that doesn't get talked about enough either until just recently. That started getting real big in the UFC.
Yeah.
You see people popping off about weight cutting now and how unhealthy it is. That sucks.
It can be unhealthy. It can be. I think I'd like to think I did it the right way this past time, but I mean, it still isn't. It still isn't ever healthy to cut 20 pounds in just a couple of days,
Yes.
water weight or not. But I gained it back, and that's what this promotion. It's awesome because on Street Beefs you weighed in day of if you weighed in, and then and then this place you weighed in 24 hours plus beforehand. So I got time to get that Gatorade Zero back in me and get some food back in me. I ate healthy, all the way up till after the fight. So
Electrolytes.
Yes.
Lots of electrolytes.
And it was cool too. Like I said, they set us up in a hotel, so we was able to go up there and relax and just hang out.
Yeah, like what
It's
you
a long
said,
way.
I think
You do a
was
lot
built
of weight.
onto the.
Yeah,
it was all
it was a
one.
big breezeway, and it was cold as hell in there the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
Yeah, it was all connected. It was a real big, huge hotel. It was nice. I walked
really
from
nice.
my hotel room all the way down to my locker room in my socks.
That's awesome.
Because I was just pacing all day, man, going in and sitting in the hotel room.
Yeah, it's a lot of waiting.
It was a lot of waiting.
That's the worst
was that
part.
when it finally
is just-
hit you? Think like when you walked into that hotel, you're checking in, or like when you went up there for weigh-ins, and you're like, dude, I'm here. Like this is
It
it.
hit me the weigh-ins, yeah. I mean, when we did the face-offs and stuff, so I was like, when I finally looked at my guy, man, it was like,
It's done.
I'm here to hit this guy. Like
Whole mentality switches.
Yeah, I know what I was training for, and I know I was prepared for anything. But when I looked at that dude, man, I was like, I'm ready to win. I'm ready to hit this guy. That's when it really started hitting me. And then after that, I was pacing. AJ was there. So I just paced for hours.
I
in the
love it,
hotel
dude. I
room.
could see whenever I was watching it, like as soon as you got in there.
I paced all the way from the hotel room all the way up till I got in the cage. I was pacing in the cage.
They were talking about. They were commentating on it. They were like, they were talking about Jordan Gast. I was like, he's real intense in there. Like he's
real
just pacing back and forth, and just dead staring this dude down. And he looks like he's really intense in there. I'm like, you're about to see some wild shit.
There's two things on my mind, and that's my sword and his at that moment, man.
Yeah.
That's the only two things I worry about.
But that mentality, though, like, because you got to think there's people out, like, there's literally people out there that have no idea about this sport.
There was guys there that I don't want to bash on nobody, but they just should not have been there, man. They don't, and you can tell they don't have that mentality. And then you watch the fight, and you can tell in the fight they don't have that mentality. Like, it's cool that they showed up and did it. Man, like it takes guts to do that, man. But
yeah, it really does.
It takes a lot more to do that and win. If that's what you're going for, man. It takes a lot.
And there's some guys there you didn't think were going to win, and they ended up coming out on top. And it's pretty awesome seeing that too, because people had them the underdog, and it's like,
I've said it for a long time, but I really think jiu-jitsu is like a legit superpower.
The power of jiu-jitsu, yes.
Yeah.
There's that one match there. A guy was 2-12 against another guy who was 1-4.
The guy that was 2-12 was from Southern Indiana too.
He was from Scottsburg, Madison area.
Counter violence.
Yeah, counter violence.
Counter violence in Madison.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, he was from there.
So I think pretty much everybody had him, to lose because he was 2-12. But he went out there and put a guy in a reverse triangle.
Yes.
And submitted him in the second round. It was the fighters in the back were going wild about it. They're like,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You love underdog stories like that. You
Well,
love
shout out to that guy too for being in Southern Indiana, man. For real, doing big things even in what's Madison, Scottsburg area. That's still cool to see, man. Because you don't see a lot of stuff come out of there either.
No, not
and like
really.
you said, if it's from around here, we're pumped about it. So we saw it and we were pumped.
Yeah, I also seen which I mean it's a little bit up north, but there was a guy also there from American Top Team.
Yes.
in Indy.
Yes, they their coach actually wrapped my hands and
really
professionally, yes.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that gym.
That's who that was, yeah. That man has produced a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
A lot of UFC fighters.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I didn't know that. Wow. That's cool.
My mailman is Jake O'Brien. If you guys remember him, he's the next UFC fighter. He's fought some of the best. John Jones, Cain Velasquez, all those guys, man. If you wanted in there, you had to go through, Jake O'Brien, dude. He's a tough dude, tough wrestler. And he was under that guy. And bunch of guys, Matt Mitrione.
Yep.
He invited me up to that gym, man. I do want to make a stop up there, man. He said there's a lot of people my size that do a little MMA and stuff, man. I'll never leave Browns or nothing like that, but like every day or so throughout the week, stop up there.
It's nice to get a new fresh flow or a different outlook on,
It really does. And I'm
switches up the routine.
Typically the smallest guy at Browns, man. I don't get a feel for someone my size a lot, so.
Yeah. I found that out when I rolled with you. I was like, where the hell is he? That's 6'6".
Right.
I was looking around for him, dude. Next thing I know, I'm choked out. It's like, all right.
I lost my way.
I was smart enough to tap, though. So.
But yes, Indiana. But Indiana's big in it, man. It's underrated, like I'm saying. If you looked in the street beefs even, my boy Rico Talley was champ. He's from Indiana. There's a bunch of other fighters there from Indiana, ground that represent. Indiana's underrated, man. We have a really good wrestling program. If you look in the Big Ten wrestling, or just college wrestling, period, if you look at these big colleges, the number 1, number 2 ranked guys at these colleges and in the NCAA Big Ten conferences, they're from Indiana. They just don't stick in Indiana colleges. Once they go from Indiana high school, they go out to these different colleges out of states. If they would all to stay in state and go to those colleges, man, Indiana would be the best state with wrestling, man. We have killers out there, dude.
Yeah, we just had another not like this year, but like a recent collegiate fighter for IU, Nick South. The
Rook boys. Yeah, I go to see them. I like to watch them. I watch them on my Big Ten network, man. Those guys are killing it.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, it's possible to come out of Jennings County or any surrounding county, just because we're not heard of real big. The talent's still here. There's still athletes.
Yes, we put in
There's
the work
some
down
really
here.
good athletes that I still see today that still keep up in shape.
Yes.
And can probably still do big things, man. I don't think it's ever too late.
It's not.
I didn't start jiu-jitsu until last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I fell in love with it. And I never thought I would. That took a lot of balls to even go.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, then it was totally not what I thought it was.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's different.
I thought I was going to go there. First of all, if there's anybody out there that's has ever thought about getting into jiu-jitsu, do it.
Yes.
Like, don't be scared, man. Like, some of the stuff that you watch is like the more intense pro versions of jiu-jitsu, man. You got to start somewhere. Yeah. So you're not going to go into a gym like a Brown's jiu-jitsu academy like this and get the shit kicked out of you. It ain't gonna happen like that. You might see that, but that ain't gonna happen to you.
Yeah, that's the one thing good about Browns is they take care of you there.
Yes.
And they teach you. They make sure you know at least a little bit before they put you in and start letting you roll and stuff like that. And they ask you what you're comfortable with. And
I'd never been there until you guys talked me into going. And I've only been twice so far. Super awesome place. A lot of Jennings County people.
Yes. How I found that place, so I was kind of switching from gyms. My last gym I was going to before that, out in Seymour, they were kind of switching over to judo and a new coach, and we just kind of weren't clicking. Me and this coach, he didn't see the same vision I had. I was wanting to mix it all up, become an MMA fighter, and he just didn't see it that way. So I took some time off, and I was looking for some other gyms, and I started working with my boy Mike Owens, and he said he used to do some jiu-jitsu and stuff, and he knew this gym out here in Columbus, and it was actually not where it was at now. Browns has moved around a little bit.
Right.
We was back at a place out, you go out 46, you go out and hit the country roads a little bit, and it was out there in the fields, man. Corn-fed motherfuckers.
Right.
So we went out there in that big building, and it didn't have as much mat area either. We went out there, man. I met Brooke and Russ, I'm pretty sure, the first night, and we did a little bit of rolling, man. I fell in love with it right away, and then right away they were moving from that. They even mentioned that very first practice I went there that they were going to move from there to where we're at now, and so they took like 2 months off, man, making the transitions. Dude. So I was working out by myself. I started training by myself because I was getting ready to do wrestling nationals.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to just get back in it. Period. I would want to compete. Period. So I started training for wrestling nationals, and I found out about my Street Beast fight. So I took that fight without even going to Brown's BJJ. Did that, and as soon as I was done with that, I went back. Brown's was open, and I started going back to Brown's, man, and was just loving it. It was just that one section when you first walk in, the first set of mats. That's all it was at first. And we were lucky to get 4 or 5 people to practice that night. You know, we were lucky if that happened. And I was typically the smallest guy, but I still loved it, man. I was figuring out gi there because I didn't do a whole lot of gi before that. We were doing a lot of no gi at my other gym. And I started falling in love with that. So the coronavirus hit then.
Nah.
So then we had to close up for a big fat period, man. So I kept training by myself, man. I took those other Street Beast fight. Yeah, for real. Coronavirus shut us down, man. It was a sad time.
Fuck COVID.
So, but I took those Street Beast fights still.
We were rolling a mask for a while at first. Yeah,
We
we're
were
mask to
rolling a
roll.
mask.
Yeah.
And that's conditioning there.
Oh
You've never
my
tried to roll the
Yeah,
mask
for
and
real.
not pass out.
Oh, yeah, that was when it was like the wall that was
Yeah.
business. That is. But how you like? It's a good way to stay open, but it's you gotta embrace the suck. I
I'm a
guess.
mouth breather, dude. That was horrible.
People came and did it, yeah.
I've been like inhaling it.
Yeah, I ate mine a couple of times. They usually just kind of
Not to
accidentally
get
fell
choked
off.
out with the mask on. Dude, like what? 6 feet apart. Whatever, dude. I'm about to bite his ear off.
It was bad times.
I couldn't even imagine. I'm glad I missed out on that.
Yeah. But the coronavirus hit, so I took those other fights and fought kind of just training on my own. But we've been, ever since it's been back open, man, we've been growing. And like you said, you know, I started competing in some jiu-jitsu tournaments after my Street Beast fights. I wanted to hit some tournaments, find out where I was at in the jiu-jitsu level. I wanted to get in the right belt ranking system. And I was doing gi and no gi. And next thing you know, Jennings County people start pouring in. And like you said, we have the talent around here. They just don't have nowhere to go. Columbus is, you know, right up the road, man. And this gym's great. Like you said, it's the family there, and we've just built the Jennings County kids there. Don't get me wrong, there's other people there. We got great Columbus and East North wrestling kids there and stuff, but it's just mainly, if you tally up the numbers, it's mainly Jennings County kids, man. And
More
they're killing.
killers.
And they're competing too. You know, we got a bunch of people. The Vogels, there's 3 of them that go to competitions, always getting gold. We got Peyton Gherkin, he won nationals. Dalton won nationals. Me and AJ have competed, man. It's tons of us guys from Jennings County go up there competing and keeping.
And competing's
They're
different
great
too.
teachers.
It's different. It really is a way to test
mentality,
yourself.
like he says, like practice is one thing, man. You know someone's going to take care of you. You know that you're going to drill and work what you need to work. But when you go to competition,
They're there to kill you. Like
someone's there to hurt you, crank your neck.
They're there to win whatever they gotta do. That's when I learned that, like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a lot more fast.
Well, that's
This is
also
how
good.
we grow life.
The mentally, we were talking about the mentality, but mentally it just makes you tougher. Like, and then like when you go back, so you compete the first time, you know, you're gonna have the jitters, you're gonna have all that, you know, and then you go in there and get your neck cranked like that. You know, first of all, I'm gonna be pissed. You know, and then second of all, dude, that's gonna light the fire inside you, and that, dude, that's why it's so addicting. I think, because it's like, dude, this dude cranked my neck, man. I wake up the next day, I'm hurting, I'm pissed. I'm going back to the gym, dude. Not promise that ain't happening again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We
It's
got
just
these
like,
big guys that come to the gym, big huge bodybuilders and stuff, and you know, I come in there and crank on them, and I put it to them. I like to let them know, and they'll come back the next day, man, and they'll talk about, like, man, I went home and I just could not comprehend how a smaller dude was beat me. He's like, I had to come figure this game out, and I was like, I like guys like that. It's the ones that come and I beat
real
up
muscular dude, like
real big muscular guy. They come show up. I beat up on them, and they don't come back. They just can't handle it. Like, man, I can't stand it.
I like to get beat up, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I've actually done something that day. It's like I've learned something. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
guys
I
that come
remember you
back.
choked me out one time. It took me a while. You know? I was actually trying to get my breath back.
The guys that come back and ask for more, man, I love it, man. It's when they get beaten, they're like, "That's amazing, man. Like I want to learn that." You know?
Yeah, I don't know how you don't find that exciting.
It lights
I guess maybe it's a different breed of a person, dude. But it's like, when I got choked out, I'm like, dude, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, dude, listen, show me how you did that.
And like you said, it pisses you off. Like, I don't want him to do that again, so I better let him do that again to figure out not to do it again.
And so the second time I went there, the last time I went, I got choked out. So, dude, I'll throw myself out there because I'm not ashamed of it.
No,
I got
me
choked
either.
out by a girl.
Everybody taps.
I got choked out by a girl with an Ezekiel choke. Or I think it wasn't Ezekiel.
Who
It was
was
a baseball choke, I think.
Was it Brooke?
Oh, it might have been.
Probably.
She's small, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just, it was
but-
much like you. I was like, where is she? And then the next thing I know, dude, she's got her fingers crossed and my neck's between her elbows. And I can't breathe. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking, dude, wow, how did she do that?
Yeah.
So then she's like, obviously she's better than me. So I'm like, we're on rotation to roll because there was a lot of people there that
Right.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're rotating out, and then I go over to Gherkin, and I'll be damned, dude, he got me with the same choke.
Yes.
And I find myself at the end of the then I'm raging times 10. I'm like, all right, dude. In myself, I'm like, I'm a piece of shit right now. Obviously, I can't follow this. And then I think I went on to, there was an older guy there, and he was wearing a gi. Got me with the same damn
Yep.
choke. I don't know if you guys were just
If you
doing
watch,
that
We
choke.
play
if you
baseball
watch
there,
my
dude.
fight,
We play baseball.
if you watch my last fight,
I'm in the freaking outfield, dude.
there in the first round, I go for a no-gi Ezekiel.
And the commentator
Yeah.
says it too. He's
The
like, is he
com-
going for it?
Yeah, they caught on to it. I was going for the
Ezekiel
no-gi
choke?
Ezekiel because it's only been done by one guy in the UFC, so I thought if I can get that off and
That would've been
it'd be
sick,
kind of cool.
yeah.
Because one of those chokes you don't really see. This next thing you know, he's tapping. But we do that at Brownsville, like you said. That's one of
Yeah.
our go-tos because you can
3
hit,
times in a row.
you can hit it from anywhere. I've hit it in guard, side guard, mount. You can hit it from anywhere. So like it really does get hit a lot. And I got to thank Brooke a lot too because like you said, she's a smaller one, and she teaches me jiu-jitsu, the small person's version, because that's how she has to survive.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that she teaches, I pick up on because that's how I am. Because she's smaller, like you said, and we get caught in bad positions being smaller, and she knows how to work her way around it. So I've took a lot of her lessons to my fighting and my jiu-jitsu
I'd like
level.
to see more women get involved in jiu-jitsu too, man.
There's more women involved in wrestling now too. I've been doing refereeing and I help little kids wrestling, man. And the elementary level, man, there is tons of girls now, man. And
Good.
I love it. I
Good.
think it's great, and they're savages, man.
Think there's gonna be a high school girls team eventually?
Didn't
Think
they
about
let
it.
Rebel go to state or
There,
something?
there is a girls team already. We just had a high school. Yeah.
I think she went to state. I forget her name, but
Yeah, I read about that, but I didn't know if it was not like an
She placed
actual
in
girl
state.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
That's
sick.
It's
awesome.
not an actual girls team, but she practiced with the boys.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, but do you ever think
But
there will
it's
be
a-
like an all-girls wrestling team, where, like, you think it'll ever get big enough?
There is in the college level. Iowa just had their first girls college wrestling team and a college wrestling girl coach, and they still kind of practice with the boys. You know, it's still
Right.
all the same.
You gotta have the bodies.
Yeah, the bodies, the training, and the brains working together. But tons of girls, man. I think it's great, man. We have Carly Vogel at our gym, and she's a killer, man. She does taekwondo. She does this jiu-jitsu. Her dad he's on the wall at Jenks County for
Yep.
wrestling, so he's showed him takedowns, man. And her brothers are also killers, so she's got to be in there training with them all the time. She's a killer, man.
Honestly, truthfully, I don't know if I know any Vogels that aren't killers.
Exactly.
Or at least some kind of an athlete.
Yeah, those Vogels are. They help me out a lot, man.
The Vogels I played with were monsters, dude.
Yes.
Monsters. Like 6'8", dude. Just monsters.
And the gym's gotten bigger. We mentioned that, we only had that one section at one point, but now that you're there, you guys have seen how big it's got. We got 30, 40 plus people.
I was
now.
not expecting that.
We had to buy that whole other room, break the wall down, and have a whole nother mat section to mirror what we have now.
And it's super
still
nice.
packed.
Yeah,
It's still getting packed.
Yeah.
it still gets packed.
It gets huge. I love it, man, and I really appreciate Mike Brown for the facility and the opportunity for us to be in there training and killing us
Yep.
in there and teaching us, man.
They're phenomenal teachers.
Yes.
They taught. I was, it's one thing to teach these guys something, but then you get somebody like me that's like, you got to break that down for
Yes.
someone who's extremely dumb. Okay, I'm a hands-on person, and it takes me obviously more than 3 times to get choked out with the same choke to figure it out.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there before.
I'm still there, dude.
That's the crazy thing about jiu-jitsu, dude, is you never stop learning. You really don't, man. I just still am seeing when we was in there talking about what was the choke I had you show me, the one that I've been seeing just here recently in the Fuji tournaments.
Was it the Darce choke?
No, the one that you can do it really well too.
The buggy choke?
The buggy choke.
The buggy
Dude,
choke.
the buggy choke, gnarly, hurts like hell. Started seeing that real, it just blew up. All of a sudden. I watched the Fuji tournaments, and then this one kid, I think he was 16, hit this dude with the buggy choke, and I was like, wait, what?
Right.
I was like, how did I just see the dude start tapping?
That's crazy.
And I was like, what is that?
That's the good thing about jiu-jitsu, because it's for every body style. You get your own game. You learn the basics, like how to guard pass, how to side control, mount. You learn the basic submissions, Kimura, Americana, stuff like that. But in the end, you kind of you make up your own game. It's a chess game.
You got to develop your own IQ.
You use your body to do what you want to do. If I have long arms, long legs, and I'm probably going to have a better chance of getting that buggy choke than somebody who is a little bit shorter and can't really reach legs over somebody. Yeah. It's awesome because it's for everybody.
And like you were saying, Jenks County wrestlers, period, after you're done, it's a place to go to and keep the grappling going, but it's different because AJ, not bashing on you, wasn't the greatest wrestler. He wrestled.
Not at all, dude.
But wasn't the greatest.
I was what you would call a butterball.
It wasn't. Wrestling's for brutes, man. If wrestling Jordan, when I was a wrestler back in the day, if someone built a wall and said, get to the other side of that wall, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start working out, pump some iron. I'm going to start doing cardio, and I'm going to run through that wall. But if the jiu-jitsu Jordan, if someone built that wall and said, get to the other side of that wall, I'm going to look at that wall. I'm going to build a door. I'm going to build a handle. I'm going to open that door and walk through it. I'm thinking now it's something different. So, AJ wasn't the best wrestler, but AJ come to jiu-jitsu, and AJ's figured out what's worked for him. Yeah. Right. And he finds out what works for his body and what his body can do with this and that, and he's a killer. Yeah. Way better jiu-jitsu guy, for sure.
And I do want to talk about that too, because we've seen your MMA debut and stuff, but I also want to bring AJ on too, because I want your intake of how did you get into it? What was it that I know obviously probably Jordan got you into it.
Right, well, yeah, he got me into it.
Did you have thoughts of it though?
There was something in his mind.
Well, yeah, I wrestled from kindergarten up to my freshman year, and then started dabbling in other sports. So I just wanted to try things out. And like he said, I loved wrestling, and I won some matches, but it wasn't like I didn't have the drive to cut weight and to do 1,000 stair laps and stuff like that. I wanted to hang out with my friends. You know what I mean? It wasn't my mentality, but the older I got, and I wanted to lose weight and stuff, so I started going to the gym and freaking conditioning and lifting weights. And then I've always watched UFC and MMA on TV. I want to get muscles like that guy. How's he get those muscles? And and then I saw his fights on YouTube on Street Beefs and stuff, and found out that he was doing jiu-jitsu in Columbus. So I just texted him and asked if I can start doing it. And I was nervous as hell going in there. And
I was too.
First day I was running back to the bathroom puking, because I was so out of shape. I just kept going because I fell in love with it. It was unlike any workout I've ever felt, and it put me back.
For sure.
It kind of almost gave me a second chance to do wrestling over again. I was like, all right, dude. I had this mentality of I'm either going to go out there and black out or tap out. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Because for you people watching, we got two opposite ends of the spectrum here. We had a wrestler who was really good and wanted to pursue, got out of high school, missed wrestling, wanted something to kind of fill that void. Yes. You know what I mean? Found jiu-jitsu. Then you got somebody over here that wrestled a little bit, in high school and never really had thoughts about it afterwards, and maybe just looking for a new hobby. Somebody who's never even done it, never even thought about it other than watching it on TV. And they both are coming up.
Fell in love with it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's so cool to point out. Because, like I said, it's two opposite ends of the spectrum. You got kids out there that's like me. I'd never wrestled. I seen you guys running, and I didn't want no part of that. But now I wish I would have. Yeah. And that's coming from a basketball player. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I fell in love with it, and I never did any kind of contact sport.
Yeah.
I've had my contact moments in basketball for sure. There's a mentality in that too. But nothing like not even comparable to what jiu-jitsu is or MMA or anything, any kind of mixed martial art.
One-on-one.
They're all insane. Judo, kickboxing, just regular boxing. There's a couple good boxers out of Columbus I've seen that came out, but it's just so cool to see, like I said, two opposite sides of the spectrum. So if you're sitting out there and you're thinking, I'm 27 years old, dude, I'm done, whatever, man.
No, I lost 50 pounds doing jiu-jitsu and just rolling and eating healthy. Just stop drinking pop.
Like if you eat right, dude, and you just show up,
treat your body right, and treat you right.
Like even if you like I said, and it also teaches you discipline. Jiu-jitsu is a very disciplined sport.
Yeah.
It really is, and like how it's so funny because I said earlier, like I think it's a superpower. And then you were saying a lot of these big dudes come in here and I'm choking them out, beating them up, and then they'll come back. Well, let me tell you a secret that I found out the hard way. I'm a lot stronger than what I look like, I've been told. But when you get on those jiu-jitsu mats, bud, it don't matter how strong you are. Yeah. Them guys gas out super quick. When you're down there cranking on their neck, they're using all that neck muscle to go against you, dude. And then they wonder why they can't move their neck the next day.
I still do. I'll be cranking on somebody and then my arms just... they're dead. And then it's like, well, I guess you win because it's like you didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying, man. And that's crazy because it's legit. So you see it all the time. And you can go on YouTube and watch a 150 pound dude tap out a 300 pound dude easy.
All the time.
And you're just like, whoa.
Everybody's got to breathe, man. Yeah. Everybody's got to breathe.
Until you don't. But like I said, I just wanted to throw that out there because, like I said, I started all this to get this kind of knowledge and wisdom out there to people that don't know.
Yeah.
And it's never too late to start. Even if, like I said, I had no wrestling background whatsoever. For me coming into jiu-jitsu, it was I got on YouTube and I just started looking up. I looked up the first basic 5 submissions.
Yeah.
And I bought a grappling dummy on Amazon.
That's where you start.
That's all you have to
and
do,
I just practiced doing it, man.
That's
and then like how, like you said earlier, your coach said, put him on his back. Well, then I just looked at it as he doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Take his air supply away.
Somehow, some way, his lungs apart. He doesn't want to breathe. It's all about leverage points. That was one of the first things on any way you can make leverage on a freaking bone. It's gonna, you got to make it happen. Yeah. So someone that doesn't have any experience, come up, and then it's just so cool, man. And I just want to make sure everybody out there knows, like, it's never too late to start.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that other, the older dude at Brown's. I'm sorry if you watch this. I'm calling you older dude, man. I just don't know your name, but
John.
Well, I know John O'Sullivan, man.
Yeah,
He's strong.
I'm a 26-year-old, 200-pound. Was a previous weightlifter, really hard. Got to 225. I'm a lot stronger than what I look like. And this dude. He's just older, man. He's older, wearing a gi. And I was like, when I first went up to him, I'm like, man, I don't want to hurt him. Shit.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking...
Next thing you know, dude, I couldn't breathe.
You go to these competitions, too. I've been to a lot of these Fuji competitions, man, and you'd be surprised of the age differences there are there. There's a lady there. Looks like she can be my grandma, man. And she's out there. I'm not saying like she's out there killing it. She gets second or third every now and then. She might.
But to be that old to be on a podium,
doing it, man. It's for everybody. It's for all bodies. For everybody. Yeah. It's for everybody.
And if you do want to start, like I do highly recommend Mike Brown. See if you can get a chance to go up there because they got kids classes.
Yes, kids classes.
Kids classes. They did have a girls class, but they didn't have a lot of girls showing up, so they kind of stopped with that.
Well, we have a lot of girls. They just show up with the boys,
right? Yeah,
because they're killers. They're killers already, so they show up with the boys. So we kind of just made the girls class into everything. Still,
yeah, because strength's not a big point in it.
It's not really, man.
There's some good girls at Browns, dude. I can tell you.
Yeah, they will choke you out. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
And wrestlers too. After high school's over and you think it's over, man, it's not, man. Jiu-jitsu's there. There's other gyms. Not even just jiu-jitsu. There's other combat sports out there, man, to fill that void, man. Because I've been there. I felt that void, man. I felt like after wrestling, man, my last match, I just knew it was my last match ever, and I cried, and I just thought I would never find something like wrestling again, or I didn't have a reason to work out or anything like that or keep in shape. And then I found jiu-jitsu and some MMA. I started doing a little bit of judo, and it really helps with that. It gives you that second chance. You go out there and compete. I know there's just those guys out there. It's the competitiveness is in them, and that really helps with that, man. You go out there and you learn stuff. It's just like wrestling practice. You learn the move, you go drill the move, you apply the move when it comes to live rolling, and that clicks with wrestlers.
And one other thing I also like to point out, because you're talking about, like how the youth and all these things, the youth coaches, especially people that get out of wrestling, I've told the same thing to the kids because I felt the same way. I think every senior has those kind of emotions. Like when I stepped off the basketball court, I knew, I'll never get this chance again. This is the last time I'll come in here and smell the court, the wood court like this.
Yep.
We lost first round of sectionals, dude, and I was super upset, dude, like just sad. But, I filled that void when I started coaching because that's cool, man. If you can't pursue it, or, maybe you lose the interest, I kind of got burnt out on it my high school career because I was just doing it so much, man. I was doing it 24/7.
Yeah.
And, but you can give back even if you because in wrestling you see that a lot at Jennings County. There's like a couple kids my age that come out of my class.
Exactly.
A couple classes below me. I know there's Charlie Wolf, phenomenal guy.
Andrew Heron's there helping.
All phenomenal wrestler. Andrew Heron was
helping.
And it's awesome because a lot of other programs you don't really see that. Yeah, and I've noticed that about wrestling is you guys loved it so much. And the least you could do is give back. And it all starts with the youth. I hear, because I'm going to get into this a little bit too, but Jennings County gets that reputation, where we're never going to have solid programs and we're never going to be sectional champs. We're never going to win state and all this. And, we can't keep coaches and all this. But, nobody gives credit to the guys that are coaching the youth, or no one wants to put forth the time to start teaching the youth.
Exactly.
I started teaching just for, shits and giggles. I started teaching, coaching third graders, and I was teaching them stuff that I learned in high school. Yeah. And these kids were doing it better than I was. They're capable, man. They're little sponges.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they're kids, man, and they think it's all cool. They're the only people that play the game or wrestle that still have those dreams of watching people on TV.
Yeah. Yes.
Like in basketball, I was watching Michael Jordan's, Kobe was huge, dude, and I was like, I want to do these things. But when I was young, I had those idols. And that fueled that dream.
Yes.
And when you have that dream, dude, there's nothing that can stop you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the people that take the time to teach the youth.
Yes.
And because that's where it starts. Because you teach them something that young, they can have so many more years to perfect it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you wonder why, oh man, those sixth graders that are now freshmen in high school come up and like 7 of them are undefeated. They're monsters.
There's
like what happened?
Kids in our kids classes.
We have this boy named Devin. He's about 8, 9, 10 years old, and so he's homeschooled and he does jiu-jitsu, and that's I help coach there now, and that's why I first met Devin. And he does jiu-jitsu, and he was going to competitions and winning stuff. He's one of our really good students there in our kids class and learns. And
is he the killer?
He's the killer, man. if we need someone to be made an example of, we send him on him. But he wants to learn, and he wants to be there and teach us stuff. But now not only does he do jiu-jitsu, he does wrestling too. So he does wrestling 2 days a week, jiu-jitsu like 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. So he's learning the wrestling part too. So like you said, now that when he gets older, man, he's just going to be a killer.
Yeah.
He's going to be all
He's going to
around.
have a bright future.
Yeah,
to chase that dream.
I wish I would have known jiu-jitsu when I was doing wrestling too back in the day, and like already been that advanced. Like I really appreciate the wrestling for me, and like it would have been different if I was doing both of them at the same time. But I'm glad I did wrestling. But I'd been that much more advanced if I was doing both. So I'm like, he's got the opportunity too, man, and it's great. And I like to get back and teach a lot of that stuff, and I like to really help out with wrestlers doing jiu-jitsu because I've been through that journey of being a wrestler, wanting to just keep someone on their back and just hold them there.
Not wanting to be on your back.
Yeah, and not want to be on your back. And now I'm that grappler that uses my wrestling when I can, but I transitioned into a jiu-jitsu grappler now. I'm not just a wrestler.
And you're very comfortable on your back now.
Yeah, oh yeah. I
found that out.
I just want to lay down to start out most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't like to be on my back during my fights. That's when they can posture up and fight, so I really don't showcase.
Yeah, fighting in jiu-jitsu is different when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on bottom either.
Yeah, it's all different when you get hit in the face.
You get a hammer fist.
I like to be on top of my fights, but in jiu-jitsu, man, I ain't worried at all. I'll go on my back for you. And if I know I'm facing a wrestler, I'll even start on my back for him because they don't know what to do after that. They're like, oh, I won.
Depends on what I do.
Nope, we don't end here, but we still got a little bit more to
Triangle
do.
choke.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Devin, man, and the rest of our little kids that we have there in the class. We got a bunch of little killers there, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's phenomenal. That's just one of the biggest parts of ever rebuilding a solid foundation of any possible future outcomes. It has to start with the youth.
Yes.
So I just want to give my hats off to all those coaches, especially in wrestling. It's so nice to see young kids that are in their 20s that were really good wrestlers, because not like they graduate high school, they're still fresh. They're still drilling.
Oh yeah.
They're out there drilling with the kids. I see that sometimes. And that's super cool.
Yeah, those little kids will wear me out. We have a little kids class before our adults class too, and I'll be sometimes have to take a break in between. Yeah. Those kids will wear me out, man. We were just talking about the Vogels, man. Peyton and Carly's they're in their young teens, and they put me to work.
Yeah.
Put me to work.
Love it, man. Love to hear it and love to see it. And I love to shout those kind of guys out, man, because I like to give those people that don't get that kind of recognition on here the recognition they deserve, because without those kind of people, man, it would just never evolve, and it'd never get better, and we'd be stuck in those same ruts.
And it takes a different kind of person, man, because, kids can be a handful, man. Those guys are out there good with them, and they teach them and stick with it. The Predators program I was talking about in Jenks County, man, we have Mr. Coach Pemberton, and he's really stuck with the program, man. He's really helped out those little kids. Even when they're not his kids, he's still out there with them and helping them, and he's there for the long run. He's not there just to be, hey, I'm the coach, I'm the one running the stuff around here. He's there for the kids. He's there for the long run, the program. Yeah,
and that's the kind of coaches that we need more of, the ones that not just care about you while you're on those mats or on the court or on the field. It's the ones that you can go to, and it's all you learn a lot from sports, man.
Yes.
If you missed out on playing high school sports, don't let your kids. Seriously, because it molds you into a better person.
Yes.
When you graduate and you get your first job and you don't know how to take constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Man.
And
if you get in a construction field, good luck.
And you get guys like us who've been in sports, and we're quick to see those people that haven't been in sports, man.
Yeah.
You're quick to realize, that dude's not able to handle a loss. Like what we were saying earlier, we've tapped all the time, like you said. It's no shame in saying that, dude. We learn from that. It's learning.
Just never want to end up being like the guy you tapped out there.
Exactly.
It's dangerous. Dude, live to fight another day. There's no reason to not tap. Dude,
well, in a fight, man, he had a lot of adrenaline going. I'm sure he thought he could keep going longer than what he.
That happens a lot.
It happens
you think you can
That happens a lot with white belts.
Yeah.
It's like a white belt mentality. I ain't gonna get tapped. I ain't tapped. Bro, you are.
You
You'll
think you think you have time. You think you can fight it off enough, and then by the time that's over, you're just seeing stars, figuring it out, standing over top of you.
There ain't nothing fun about that. If you've never had that happen to you, that's a really bad time.
But it happens, man. That's 12
out of 10 would not recommend, though.
That's where you learn.
That's what they say at the gym there. They say tap off, and just tap off.
There's no reason to, man.
Yeah.
A lot of it's drilling. Once you got it in, man. Once you got something in,
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna. I've dug my hole.
When I had that submission in,
ego check.
When I had that submission in, man, I just knew too.
Oh, I watched you finally get under his chin, and then I watched
because his hand dropped, and then I was like, "Oh, he's out," and the ref was like, "You good? You good?" It's like, "No, he's out."
I knew. I heard the gurgling and all that stuff, but I was still in just disbelief
that's
too.
The best.
Yeah,
everybody
really
does it.
Sweet music.
If you've never been able to, where you've been where you've not been able to breathe, you start making this god awful sound.
Yeah,
dude.
It looked brutal too because he just held him, and then when he was out, he just slung him off.
It's like a half gag, half gas.
You're pushing that last little bit of air out. But I heard that, and I knew, I thought he was going to tap shortly after that, but he just went out, and I was in disbelief. I even, got up, walked around for a second, looked back at him, and I thought this guy was joking with me. I was like, I think he's going to pop up and say, nope, we're still finishing the round.
Kidding, let's go, come on.
We're going to keep going.
No, dude, he's legit out.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I got to give him props, man, because it wouldn't have looked as cool if he would have tapped, so I look a lot cooler.
And also taking on a 10-day notice, too, that's highly respectable, because not a lot of people even do that.
And I wanted to take... So a lot of questions.
And making weight, right? That seems to be a really big issue a lot of times.
Yeah, weight cut always sucks. But people have been asking, about the next fight, and I think we do have somewhat of an answer. And I took this fight knowing that this guy was 2-4, or he was 2-3.
2-3, yeah.
He's 2-4 now.
2-3.
I wanted to take that fight because I knew I wanted someone with experience, because they did offer somebody that with a 0-0 record. I was like, man, like, I'm not really 0-0, and I've told them that. Someone was telling me to hide my non-sanctioned fights from them. I was like, no, I'm gonna tell them about them. People know about street beefs. People know it's like, somewhat.
Well,
legit.
you got to promote them too, man. It's you
somewhat
represented
legit.
that.
So I told them about it. I was like, I'm not really debuting. I was like, I've had 3 fights.
Right.
I was like, I want somebody with a record. They're like, we can give you someone with records. Like, what about 2-3 record? And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty fair. I was like, that's fair. Someone with a little bit of experience has a few wins.
Right.
It's like, I'll take that fight. And so then we went working it out, took the fight, and then so my next step I want to do is I'd really like to get in the top 10, man. I've been looking at the videos. I think my wrestling could really help me out in the top 10. But I ain't going to call out no any names. I'm just going to talk to the guy about getting a fight with a winning record, like someone that has a winning record, or someone in the top 10. Because there's a few guys in the top 10 that don't have winning records, but they're still on a big fight win streak.
Right.
So I'd take those fights. I want someone the next level. And I've been looking at the promotions. I've been talking to the guy, and he's going to talk to some of those guys with those records. And I told him it'd be about 2 months. There's a Louisville competition. It's a 2-day thing. They'll have the show go on for 2 days, and I'd like to get on that card and fight there. So about 2 months, 3 months, it would be about next fight time.
Sick.
Just don't know the name, don't know who yet.
You heard it here first.
Yes, you did hear it here first.
Yeah.
I'm not. After the fight, everybody was asking me, and I wanted to get back with. I wanted to enjoy
Obviously,
my moment.
yeah.
I went back Saturday. You guys came to Faria's. We had a little party, get together, celebrated. And then I got back yesterday with my coaches at Browns. We talked about it. I felt healthy. I still feel healthy. I'll take this week off, get right back at it next week. My cardio is obviously not going to be far off. I'll be right back where I was. And then we're just going to do the 2-3 month wait so we can get a closer fight to home, Louisville, and also set up a fight to where I can fight someone better, not just take somebody random on short day notice. I want somebody to be ready as well as I am, a full camp, full everything, and work on my striking a lot more. I have been working on it, but I want to work on it a lot more. That's, I'm comfortable on the ground. Obviously, I don't really do a whole lot of stand up, but I would like to showcase my stand up.
You still got hands. I've seen them.
Yeah, I practice it a lot, but
I've seen it in high school. I've seen videos, and I don't think I was ever actually like there, but I seen how high school works.
Yeah.
You fight, and one person's got a phone, bro. Everybody sees that.
Yeah, I got hands. I just don't showcase it a whole lot. I got kicks too, man. I got a real nice head kick. I would like to showcase, but one day we'll get there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get this win, and I wanted to
They got
showcase.
to get past your wrestling first.
Yeah, they got to get past that first. I like to always wear them out in the first round. Break their will a little bit with the wrestling, just be on top of them.
We're giving tactics out now. So.
Yeah, if you watch the video, they take the camera to the corner of the guy who was fighting.
Yeah,
and then the coach is like, do you feel it? He's strong? He's holding you there? You feel that? And the fighter's like, yep.
He
just kept wanting water afterwards, man. I was just draining it out of him.
Oh, it's good stuff, man. It was so good. But and then one last thing, before we start getting into the outro and stuff here and get you guys out, because I think it's getting close. But the sacrifices, how you're pursuing this, a lot of people call it dream. To you now at this point, it's just like you got to do it. It's a hobby. It's like anything anybody else does. But the sacrifices that you have to make. How many times you're in the gym a week. Because you got to think, man, if I don't do something my girlfriend doesn't like for 2 hours.
Yeah. I got to give a lot of props to my girlfriend, Katie. She has sacrificed a lot of time with me, man. I hardly ever get to see her, man. I see her maybe about an hour each night, but within that hour, I'm coming home to shower. I'm coming home to cook my meal that I got to eat, and then I'm chilling for just like 20 minutes before we go to bed, man. I sacrifice a lot of time with my family, man, and that's what this week's for after the fight, man. I've just been chilling with everybody that I love and everybody I don't get to see often. I'm really glad I got to do this, man. This is great, taking some time for this and eating and healthy and stuff. The sacrifice is crazy, man. My routine for this fight and for pretty much all time, because I'm training for jiu-jitsu tournaments. I love to do jiu-jitsu tournaments anytime. So I wake up about 6:30 every morning. I'll eat me some carb breakfast. I mix up my carbs. I'll eat that and then head straight to Scipio to my dad's. That's where all my weightlifting stuff's at, my wrestling mats, my punching bags. I go there and I lift weights right off the bat. I want to save my energy for the weights I'm lifting. So whatever area of the body I'm working that day, so say I'm working chest, I'll just do chest with the weights that day. But body weight, I hit everything every day.
Right.
Push-ups, sit-ups, dips, pull-ups.
Not to mention rolling is a full body workout times 12.
Yeah. So I do that for about an hour lifting, and then I'll do another hour of cardio and then body weight lifting, and then a lot of cardio, bad work, ground work, all that stuff. And then I got to go to work after that for a bit, get off work, and it's pretty much straight from work. I'll be heading home for just a minute to get some food in me, another carb meal, so I can keep those good carbs and that energy, and go to jiu-jitsu class for 2 to 3 hours a day every day. So I do that every day throughout the week, and then Saturday I do jiu-jitsu 3 hours in the morning, and then that starts my rest period. Saturday and Sunday I rest, try to spend time with Katie, go to my dad's and eat a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time sacrifice, man. I'm always at the gym.
That's why I brought it up, because it is a lot, because working a full-time job and having family on top of that, you had 2 jobs, didn't you?
Yeah, there for a little bit.
And still making
2 jobs, and still he's like there more than anybody at the gym.
Yeah, and so you still make time for it, so I always told everyone that people that say they can't make time for shit, and if you really like something, you make time for it.
I made time for it, man. I knew, like you said, it was the dream, and I knew I was ready to finally chase it, man, because I wanted to get my money. Because I've seen a lot of these UFC fighters, talk about the struggle before they came here, and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and get my money set first. That way I'm not really struggling when I'm ready to actually fight. I can just focus on fighting. So I did that, and now I'm just focused on fighting, man, all the time. Like, I have my jobs and stuff still, but there's time set for it. And I have time set for my jiu-jitsu.
Your job doesn't control you. You kind of control that time.
Exactly.
And
now this is my job. I got paid for it this time.
Good deal.
I got some sponsors, and I get paid for it. So.
Well, I gave you $30. Or at least I gave them $30.
I appreciate that.
We had some people over here and we watched it. I thought it was so cool too, man. Because I always have UFC parties here. Every big fight card, man, I have. There's and whether I invite people or not, it ends up being that way. Because everybody knows, there's a fight tonight, dude. I know Chase has got it on. I'm gonna go and watch that. So I'll just have people knocking on my door, and I'm already up there. Already yelling at the TV, dude. I'm knocking the f out or something. You know how it gets. Might be a little bit of alcohol involved when I watch and I get into it. But it was really cool because it was watching, everybody gets used to watching UFC and these pro series, but you have no idea how hungry the people that are coming up are, man. And you see some wild shit. Some of those real disciplined, they're real technical fighters that are, up in there in the UFC, and like a lot of people are now watching One Championship,
right? Because
it's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it is.
You got people leaving UFC actually to go to these kind of deals.
Yes.
So show some love to some of these amateur series and some of the series that are coming up. Like your first time fighting, dude, and that was a phenomenal series.
Yes,
what they did, and
very professional.
Yeah, they're awesome. They really were.
So
I'll be back for sure.
And now that I found them, because I didn't know about them until all this happened, but I can guarantee you it's going to be another party night watching that series, because those were some good fights. Not just your fight, but there was a lot of good fights on there that I also enjoyed.
Yes.
Because as a true MMA fan, you just love the sport no matter who it is.
Yeah.
If it's Anderson Silva or if it's someone from Jennings County.
Yeah, just love it.
Or, whatever. But, dude, it's cool, man. And it was just a totally different view for me as a spectator versus when I'm yelling at someone on there that I know I'm never gonna meet.
Right, yeah.
Or like, dude, this dude's just so famous now. And then I see someone like Jordan on there, and I'm like, let's go, dude. Like, this is home shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, the whole hype in the whole house was different, dude.
Yes.
You know, and then Facebook was lit, and
Oh,
then
man.
everybody's like, Gas Tank,
Yeah,
Scipio
boy.
Savage, let's go. You know, then
Yeah.
everybody in the community for like, you know, is all getting together and rallying.
It was a win for all of us.
Yeah, dude.
I love the rally, dude. That was so cool.
It was a win
And,
for all of us.
Just like I said, dude, anytime you see someone else on TV or whatever, dude, you're like, wow, he's doing it, man. So that was like me sitting in my lazy boy drinking a Busch Light, being a piece of shit, watching me tap this dude out. You know? So that was a totally different experience for me that I really enjoyed just as a spectator.
Yeah,
You know?
it was cool.
And I
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
all the love from the hometown fans, man. I, you know, it was awesome. You guys make it where I want to keep going and keep the drive going, man. You guys really, I feel the love, I feel the support, and I appreciate it, man. It's a dream come true. It really is.
I got my full support. I know a lot of everybody's, you know, and like I said, we were talking about this a little bit before, but like, you know, about to glow up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, dude, how I was talking about, you know, social media is a double-edged sword, obviously, but, you know, like I shared that video, and you shared that video. You know, how many friends you got on Facebook? I got friends on Facebook. For one, I know I didn't add. Zuckerberg, you better figure that out. But also, like, you got 900 friends on there, and you maybe talk to like 100, let's be honest. But all 900 of them see it, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like some dude from Colombia might be friends with me on Facebook, and all of a sudden he's going to see this shit in his feed and be like, what, dude?
That
You
one
know?
I'm getting over, it's been like over 100 followers since that fight.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Last night I woke up this morning to 11 new friend requests, man. Some of them are fake, obviously, but
I'm going to create one time just to talk shit to you. Just get you worked up. No, but like, it is crazy, man, because like, it just seems like overnight, not like that, you know, like you do something big like this, something that you've worked extremely hard for, and you too, you know the struggle, you know what jiu-jitsu's like, and his whole come up too, you know what I'm saying? And
AJ was there grinding with me.
yeah,
every day.
and then all we do here is see that one moment, and we're
Yeah.
just like on your dick, like dude, Jennings County, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool.
There's a
You
lot
know,
of
it's cool,
sacrifices. The
but-
weight cut.
Yeah, and this is the reason why I asked for you to come on, is because, you know, a lot of people don't know about the sport, and then how extremely hard you've worked ever since, you know, this went back all the way to elementary school,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
the foundation of it,
Yes.
you know, and because hopefully there's kids, maybe not kids out there, because we've cursed a little bit, but, you know, it's no worse than what they see any other time, but, you know, the high schoolers, middle schoolers, you know, if this gets to that, you can see this. What you're doing now matters.
It does.
If you know, want to transition into something like this, you know, you watching UFC in middle school and you're thinking, wow, dude, I want to do that. Start now.
Start now.
Yeah, you know, because he didn't even start doing jiu-jitsu until after high school, guys. You know, and it's always possible. I always try to promote positivity on here, and it's never too late to start.
No.
So. But with that being said, you know, I appreciate both of you guys coming on for real.
Thanks for having us, man.
Super cool.
Appreciate
I can't wait
you.
to get tapped out by both
Yeah.
of you. It's like love at first touch.
Yeah, I appreciate
Last
you.
breath.
I appreciate you having us on here, man. I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me, and appreciate everybody at Browns BJJ, man. We couldn't done this without you, man.
Yeah,
This
they're
win-
family for sure.
family, dude. We couldn't have, this wins for us, man. This wins for all of us, man. And hopefully the show keeps going, man. I'm gonna have another one here soon, and we'll be back on this podcast soon.
Let's
We'll
go.
talk about it, dude. We might
go.
get one before and after the fight. Talk
Way
about it.
before. I don't want to be a distraction.
No,
We can
we'll get
dude.
one a couple weeks before, so we can talk about the mentality coming
and
into.
then we'll get a post fighter in and
There
talk
you go.
about what's gonna happen after that win.
Hell yeah.
But love it, man, and thanks for having us on here, dude. I really
No
appreciate
problem,
it,
man.
dude.
So there you go, guys. There's another episode of Pub Talk. Thanks to AJ and Scipio Savage, Jordan
Sir.
Gast for coming on. Gas Tank, baby. If you don't know, now you know. And you heard it here first. Looking at, would you say it's about 2 months?
About 2-3 months.
About 2 or 3 months. I'm sure you can always check all of our Facebooks, because as soon as he says something, I'm sharing the shit out of it. And it'll be everywhere. So if you don't know, you now know. And this is the story. This is, you know, we brought these guys on to talk about all this. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I can't thank all my supporters enough for always giving me positive feedback for doing this. You know, like when these guys walked in, it don't look like nothing special. It's a lot of money. I'll tell you that right now. It's a lot harder than what I thought it was.
This is a dope setup, though.
This really is nice. It's awesome.
Crazy, man. I appreciate it. And but you know, I'm always open to more guests too. Promote my podcast for a second, but always looking for more guests. Looking for more people, you know, that are brave enough like this to come on and talk about some of this stuff, guys. Because Jennings County's got some big things that go on. Like I said, we have athletes, we have people like this, we have good coaches. I want to get you guys heard and get you guys recognized locally and bigger than that. You know, I'm no offense to Columbus or, you know, Seymour or any of you other guys that are out there listening to this, dude, but I'm Jaco, and
home is home, dude.
Home is home.
Yes.
And I want to represent Jennings County, and you know, I want to hear some of the names around here make it to where maybe Columbus is hearing about us, because they're hearing about it now.
Oh yeah.
You know, even though you're in training in Columbus, you know, Jennings County's there, like we said. There's a lot of people that go there, and
My roots always come back here.
yes, sir. Yeah, you got it on your skin.
Yes, sir.
But all right, man, that's gonna wrap it up for this. This is another episode of Pub Talk, and I appreciate all you guys' support, and I know these guys too. So
Yes, sir.